Hey guys, I'm going to start doing weekly recipes, like the recipe of the week, and I'm actually going to be cooking it for you and kind of giving you some ins and outs and some tips to make it taste even tastier. This week we are going to do the light tuna bake. If you're not a fan of tuna, you can also do chicken, which is what I did when I was pregnant because I couldn't stand the smell of tuna. So you can switch either out, it doesn't really matter. So some of the things that you're going to need for this, well, all the things you're going to need. You're going to need unsweetened vanilla almond milk. You're going to need a spaghetti squash. You're going to need either tuna or chicken, just depending on what you're going to do, and it needs to be in water. You're going to need 4 wedges of the creamy Swiss garlic and herb black and cow cheese. You're going to need cheddar cheese, and then your seasonings is going to be cayenne, black pepper, and salt, and obviously that's just to taste. So to begin with, we're going to actually puncture the spaghetti squash and put it in the microwave. I cook mine for about 12 to 15 minutes, just depending on how big it is. That's a lot quicker than putting it in the oven for an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Stick a knife in 3 or 4 times, just so that some air can get into it. Pop it into the microwave. And I'm going to do mine for 15 minutes. And while that's going, then we're going to get what's going in the pot going. So basically you are going to do a cup, and this is for 2 servings by the way, a cup of almond milk, and it's going to be unsweetened almond milk. Then you're going to kind of want that like on a medium heat. You're going to do your cheese, and that's going to be a cup. So you just measure that out. Basically the goal here is to make sure that you are melting the cheese really good. The remainder of the cheese, some of the cheese we'll actually put on before we put into the oven. And then the last thing to add for right now is going to be the laughing cow cheese. This adds a really good flavor and makes it really, really creamy. Okay, so we're waiting for the cheese mixture to melt with the almond milk. The spaghetti squash is still cooking down. You're going to want to make sure your oven is preheating to 350, because once we add everything into the pot, we're going to put it into serving dishes and put it into the oven so it gets all bubbly and even more yummy. So my cheese is melted, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and dump in my tuna. Then you're going to do a teaspoon of cayenne, and that's pretty much to taste. Then you're going to do a little bit of salt. Remember, we don't do a ton on program. And then a little bit of black pepper. Again, you're not going to want a ton because we just put in a good amount of cayenne, which is very spicy if you put too much in. Alright, so the spaghetti squash is finished cooking. So all I did was took it out of the microwave, cut it open, and I scraped out all what I call the goo with the seeds. You're going to make sure you get all that, and then you just take a spoon or a fork and you just go around the edges and get it broken up. So for this particular lean and green, the recipe calls for 2 cups. Again, that's for 2 people, like 2 servings. However, I do 3 cups because that's going to be all of my veggies. If you decide to just do 2 cups, you're going to want to add either a half a cup of another vegetable or a cup of salad. And you also have an extra healthy fat that you could do salad dressing with the salad if you wanted to. So I'm going to add in directly into my hot pan that has been cooking the tuna and the cheeses and all of the spices that I have put in there. Then I'm going to come back over to my pan, and I'm just mixing it all really well. Okay, so now that it's all mixed up, I actually take individual serving dishes and spray them with Pam a little bit around the edges to make sure none of the cheese or anything sticks. But you can put it in a bigger pan and cook it all together thinner. This is just how we like to do it. And so I'm just going to spoon these out. Right, so now that I have it spooned out equally, and again, this is a complete lean and green if you do 3 cups of spaghetti squash. Otherwise, you're going to want to add in another vegetable on the side. So then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of my cheddar cheese right on top, so it's going to get all melty and bubbly when we put it into the oven. So I'm going to pop this right into the oven. And it's going to sit in the oven for about 10 minutes. The original recipe has it sitting in there longer. This is just what we have found to work for us. All right, so it is done. I'm gonna take it out of the oven after it's been in there for about 10 minutes. Again, you could have it in there a little bit longer. This is just how we do it. And this is the light tuna bake. It took me all of probably 15 minutes to make and 10 minutes in the oven. Under 30 minutes. It's definitely a household favorite. If you're not a tuna fan, try the chicken. We did that the entire 9 months I was pregnant and it was just as good. So I hope y'all enjoy. Thanks, guys.